Hey everybody and welcome. We're going to start in just a few seconds. I see there's still a few people joining. It sounds like we might be having a bit of an audio problem here. Give me 1 second. Sounds like we might be having a bit of an audio problem. Give me 1 second. Sounds like we might be having a bit of an audio problem. Give me 1 second. Sounds like we might be having a bit of an audio problem. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. My apologies, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to webinar 22, OpenBOM templates. My name is Steve Hess. I am the Director of User Experience at OpenBOM. This is the 22nd webinar in our series of webinars. I want to thank you all for joining. I see some familiar names on the list as well as some new folks. So thanks again for joining. I just want to hit a few webinar basics here. Everyone should be muted. There should be a little button in the upper right-hand corner, maybe to go ahead and go full screen if you want. I want to ask for your patience. We are using a new webinar tool, and I do see that for some reason the chat feed is not displaying, at least not on my monitor. So you can send the questions to support@openbom.com, and I will try to catch them as we go. If not, I'll be happy to answer them following. Okay. One thing I do want to mention is time is of the essence. I really do want to finish this in 25 minutes or less. 20 minutes would even be better. I know your time is important. Let's hit a couple of definitions real quick. We're going to be talking about templates in OpenBOM. And a template is, just as it is in many other applications that you might be familiar with, a template is a tool that is reused. Excuse me. That is a template that's reused when you start a new BOM, and all specific behavior comes along with that template. So a template, you think of it as a BOM that has the configurations and settings in it that you want, and when you start a new BOM, we just make a copy of that and then move on. Formulas and catalogs are defined here. I think everyone probably knows what those are, but for reference, there's a little bit of definition there. And a catalog is a list of all the items that you use to create your products. There's a lot more information on formulas and catalogs available. Okay, I want to jump right into template basics. Again, the topic of the webinar and the reason for using templates in OpenBOM is to improve reliability and consistency when you are creating bills of material. So if some of you are new to OpenBOM, that may be why you're coming to OpenBOM, and this is going to help you implement that. If others have been using OpenBOM for a while and maybe remember back to when we didn't have templates, you remember every time you started a new BOM, you had to maybe redefine a formula or add a property that you always used in all your BOMs. So this is going to help you get past that. A template is created using the save template command. We're going to go through that in detail. A template is specified during the create BOM operation. So we save it and then we use it. And a template will control the following features: properties, column order, and column justification. And we'll see a little example of that. And then a template may optionally control some additional settings, and that has to do with an initial data set. Maybe you like 2 or 3 lines of data always to be present in every one of your BOMs. You can have that in the template. Catalog assignment, you have a catalog that you use specifically in your company. In our example, we're going to do that. You may want to create a BOM that is that's read-only, that can't be edited, but there's an option to do that. And then, of course, whether or not to bring formula definitions along in the template as well. That's really a time saver. So we've set up the save template dialog with some defaults. We'll cover that a little bit more in just a moment. Okay, here we go. This is the saving a template. You open your favorite BOM, set up the various properties and column orders and formulas and things, and then you use the save template command, which is right up here in the upper right corner. The save template command will bring up a dialog where you'll at the minimum you'll need to provide a template name. And I have to say that in many cases, in most cases, I use the defaults and I just click save. But here's what each one, here's a little more detail about each one of these. If you, for example, had created your baseline bill of material and you always had labor and shipping as part of those, well, you could include those two line items in your in the BOM that you're going to be creating your template from, and say, hey, I want to copy that data into every one of my new BOMs. So you could obviously have that kind of start information copied into your BOM. And I see a few examples of that. Another setting here will save the current catalog configuration that you have. In other words, if you have a certain catalog or set of catalogs assigned to your BOM, we'll save those in the template. So when you start a new BOM, those catalogs are automatically assigned. There's another option here. Do I want to make this the BOM that I'm creating read-only? There are some use cases for that. They're fairly rare. If you want some more details on that, you can feel free to shoot us an email. And then finally, do I want to have the formulas that I've defined in this BOM? You can see that this, I've kind of cut this off here, but this is extended cost. And you can see by the little triangle here that this cell has a formula. So I'm going to say, hey, look, bring those formulas into my new BOM and I won't have to redefine them. That is really a time saver. We're going to see an example of that in a few minutes as well. Okay, and then using a save template, pretty straightforward, but there's one thing I want to point out. A template is specified in the Create BOM dialog. So from the dashboard, click Create BOM, enter your information, provide your template. Your template will be available on this little pull down here. And if you are, this is important, if you happen to be specifying a template which has a catalog settings defined in it, don't specify a catalog here. You can specify a catalog here, and you'll have to kind of fool with that a little bit to see what your results are, but you'll end up with you may end up with some unexpected column orders. So if you're using a template defined up here, a template that has a catalog defined, just go ahead and leave it up here. Don't specify any catalog here. You can always add catalogs to your BOM after the BOM starts. So and here's the flow. We go from Create BOM straight into our new BOM. Okay. So here's some of the lessons that we're going to cover in the webinar today. We're going to create a BOM from one of my favorite BOMs and reuse some properties. We're going to control some property order that's coming from a catalog into my BOM. I'm going to learn how to manage my templates from the dashboard. In this release, really, that means delete, but we can, this is a new feature to have the template entry in the dashboard. And then finally, we're going to do a kind of a second example where we're going to use an OpenBOM template to actually drive a BOM that's created from CAD, from SolidWorks. So that's what we're going to do with that. So, okay. So this is, like I said, we're doing this live right now, and I'm doing this live with you. This is a script that I'm going to run through, and I'm just going to put it over here on my other screen and go ahead and get started. So next thing I want to do here is just sign into OpenBOM. Great. Okay, I'm going to start by creating a new BOM that I'm going to use to create my first template from. I'm just going to call this my Web22 template 1. And I'm not going to assign any templates, and I'm not going to assign any catalog. This is the BOM that we're going to use to author our first template. So we kind of want it as clean as we can when we start. So let's go ahead and create that new BOM. Okay. So one of the first things that we do here at my company, I really wanted to show you first what we're building. What we're building is this guy right here. I'm picking up the same product that we used in last week's webinar. This is one of those LED light tubes about the size of a paper towel tube. And it has a number of LEDs in it and some molded parts and other things. So that's what my company builds. And the first thing I'm going to do is assign the catalog to my BOM, and my company is called Globe Electronics, and I'm going to assign my Globe Electronics catalog. You may see this form. It is asking you what you want to do in the event that there's properties in both the BOM and the catalog. We always ask OpenBOM to delete them. Okay. So what's happened here? I've assigned I still don't have any entries in my BOM yet, but I've assigned a catalog. And so those of you that are familiar with OpenBOM, you understand that properties that are coming from my catalog are have brackets around them, and properties that are in my BOM do not. So let's just go ahead and add a part to this just so we can kind of get a sense of what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add some part out of my catalog. Okay, let's see here. Let's make this a little more readable. Okay, we can see that we brought in the cap, we brought in a part number, and we brought in some other information, costs and base costs and disposal fees, and lots of information about that item came into our working BOM here. Something that I always like to have in each one of my BOMs is a property extended cost, which is the product of cost and quantity. It's just simply the cost of the items that are in that item that's in my BOM. If I change this to 5, I'll see that my extended cost will be recomputed. Okay, so that's something that I'd like to probably have, as I build more BOMs for different variations of this tube light. It's something I'd like to have in each one of my new BOMs. It's something that's probably a good candidate to be in my template. Something else that that I like to keep track of in my bills of material is the bin location. I believe in our company we call it bin number. I'm just going to go ahead and add a new property here called bin number. And I brought this in, it's defined in OpenBOM, and you can see that it's a pick list, and I have control over this list, and I can add as many things as I want to that. Okay, but that's something, bin number is something I like to have in all my bills of material. So what do I have in here? So I've got cost, I've got the order of these things where I like them. I like to have quantity, maybe I like to have bin number to the left of quantity, and we go ahead and change that. So I've set up my property order. I've added a property, a bin number. I've added a formula for extended cost. And up until recently, I would have had to do that every time I start a new BOM for another variation of my product. But now with template, I can use this Save Template button up here. I think I'm ready to cast off a template. I'm going to save this template, and I'm just going to call this webinar 22 template number 1. And I'm not going to bring a copy of this data in, although I could say, look, I want cap to be in every one of my new BOMs, but I'm not going to do that. I do want the catalog that I've already assigned to this, my Global Electronics catalog, to be assigned to new BOMs that I build. I certainly want them to be editable, and yeah, I sure would like to reuse that formula as well. So let's go ahead and save that, and we get a message down here that template-1 was saved. All right, well, let's go see how we can use that template, W22 template-1. First, let's take a look at in our template area of our dashboard. We can see there it is. Now, at the moment in this release, the only operation that I have is to delete, but I can delete templates here, which is handy. So let's go create a new BOM, and let's try using this template. Let's see what happens. I'm going to create a new BOM called Web22B1. I'm going to specify that template that we all just created together. And I'm going to be sure that I don't have any catalog specified because that template has one defined. I'm going to create that BOM. Terrific. So what I find is, so I'm rather than being greeted with just those few columns of a new BOM, I'm now greeted with a BOM that I'm going to be building. It has my catalog already assigned and the correct one. So you could think about, well, gee, maybe in certain instances I use different templates to predefine different catalogs. There's a lot of options you can have here. You can certainly have more than one template. So I would encourage you to use a naming convention and kind of explore how multiple catalogs might fit into your company. Great. Hey, I've already got bin number, so I don't have to go and assign. I don't have to add that property. That property already came in, and terrific. I've got them in the order that I like. I know that sometimes if I'm not careful, it's easy for me to get things out of order. And so let's go ahead and add a part. I'm just going to use the search tool here, and I'm going to add this. This is coming straight from that catalog. Just going to kind of go ahead and add that fitting. And this is being shown as an error because I don't have a quantity in here. So I'm just going to go put in a quantity. We see we pick up cost, we compute extended cost. Wow. Okay, this is really starting to get easy. I might add. I can pick from the list if I knew the part number ahead of time, but maybe I'll add some silicone to this. And we can see that we can now just start building up our BOM, just like we would any other BOM, but the work of laying out the BOM layout with properties, formulas, etc., has already been done for us. And you'll see that this is exactly as it was in the BOM that we used to create this template, defined as a list, and we can easily pick from that list. So that's how this works. I just want to kind of recap for just a second at this point. You know, what we did was we came along and we built a new bill of material. We assigned a catalog. We put a formula in for cost. We added a property that we wanted, could be any properties. And we moved some stuff around. And we said, okay, great. I'd like this to be the format for my new BOMs. We used the save template command, and we created a template. Next thing we did was we went back to the dashboard, used the create BOM operation here, and we gave it some numbers and we specified that template. And in the end, we ended up with a very nice template that had a very nice BOM that had completely different parts in it, but it followed the same format. So at my company, if I make many variations of this guide, maybe some with 3 and 4 and long and short and whatnot, but I'm always using I'm using that same catalog, that same list of items. Using a template is a very handy way to quickly start a new BOM and have all those things predefined. Okay. So I hope you found that useful. I'm just going to pause here real quick and just check to see if we've got any questions coming into our support or through the chat. I realize some of you might not be seeing the chat, so forgive me. Okay. Okay. yeah, I've got one. Okay, can I share a template with my colleagues? The answer is yes. With the OpenBOM team account, templates can be shared with everyone on your team. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next part. I'd like to dive into this right now. What if I build all my BOMs from CAD? And in my example, how do I use a template to do essentially the same thing that we're doing here, but drive it from CAD? Okay, well let's find out. Let's open. I've got SolidWorks open. I've got a design here. My assembly is called Tube Light 10, and I've got the OpenBOM integration installed. And I'm just going to check real quick, make sure that I don't have any BOMs or anything created yet. Okay. There's plenty of videos on how to create bills of material from CAD. So let's just go ahead and do this. Let's forgive me. First, what we're going to do is we're going to visit the settings, and we're going to say we're going to choose that template 22 template 1 that we just created. That's the one where we had bin number and extended cost and everything already defined. We're just going to pick that in here. Now we're going to go ahead and create a bill of material. Get a little notice about what's going to happen. And OpenBOM quickly extracts all the part information, product structure, all those other things from SolidWorks and brings it to me as a bill of material. So, this is looking good. I've already got, my quantities are coming in here. Looks like in this one we've got a few things. For example, here I've got 3 of these. They've got a base cost of 56 cents, and here's my extended cost. That's already been calculated for me. I've already got bin number is available here, so I can go ahead and choose which items get bin number. I think it's easy to see that this BOM already has the correct catalog assigned. That's where all my parts are coming from. Okay, and what the nice thing about driving this right out of CAD, of course, is that I've already have all the items populated. So, I'd like to visit one more case in CAD where there's been a slight change in this release. So I want to highlight this here. In CAD, we used to, if I wanted to add a property in CAD, let's say I had a checkbox that was like, that said ready to use, and I wanted to use that in my CAD system. I wanted to add that property so that it would show up in my BOM. We would add that in here into the CAD system using the add command, and we would then push it forward into OpenBOM. So we've improved that significantly with this release. So the adding it into individual CAD systems is no longer required. What we have done is we've taken advantage of the template operation. And if you have a property that you want to add, from CAD into your BOM that doesn't even exist in CAD, we use that template operation. So we're going to return back here. We're going to go back to that BOM where we originally made our first template. And think about this now. If I'm coming from CAD and I want to add the ready to go checkbox, I'm going to use the add property. I'll use the ready checkbox. And I see that's now a checkbox in this BOM. I'm going to go ahead and save another template. Save that as a -2. So what I've done here is I've added that ready checkbox in there. Okay, that's it. Let's go back to CAD. choose the template -2 from the list. And let's update the BOM one more time. It's just that simple. So the point is that those templates can serve a purpose, are a single, in other words, one template will serve the purpose of creating BOMs manually in OpenBOM, creating BOMs from your CAD system. You don't have to maintain a separate list of properties in your CAD system as well as in OpenBOM. And I see that I forgot to reorder it a little bit, and here's what happens. I end up with my Ready box down here at the end. But the point is that I just created this new BOM for tube like 10. It didn't have the Ready checkbox. I went to my template, added it, updated the BOM, and now I have the Ready checkbox in here. So that that takes me to the end of, I'm at 11, we're at 25 minutes right now. I'd like to try to wrap up here with just a few more tips, and I hope everyone found that useful. Specifically, here's the change of using a BOM template with CAD. This is what we just went through, but this kind of describes in a little more detail about where the function used to be and how to use it now. We just saw that in the video. Okay, there's a few things I'd like to leave you with. Troubleshooting templates, and this is through my own experience. Develop a naming convention. I think we mentioned that earlier. You saw myself that I was using kind of -1, -2. You could take a little time and even be more thoughtful. If you're sharing with your colleagues on a team or something, that'll be even more important. Use the dashboard templates area to delete old templates. As you're learning, you'll probably create some that you no longer need. So that's a great place to kind of practice some template hygiene. Something that I do is that I sometimes choose the wrong template from the create template dialog box, especially if I have a lot of them. So try to use the vital few number of templates that you really need. As of yet, templates cannot be edited. Return to the original BOM like we did, make a change, and then save as a new template, -2, -3, etc. Something that I want to point out might not be obvious, that templates have zero effect once a BOM has been created. The template is only used during the creation of the new BOM. Once a new BOM is created, the template has no impact. You can delete it, change it, override it, whatever you want to do. It's literally just to create the new BOM. Double check those settings in the Save Template dialog. Like I said, I use the default almost all the time. If you're not using the defaults, be sure that you have double checked those. If you're getting a BOM that you can't edit, maybe you accidentally turned on read only. For example, if you're getting data that you didn't expect, maybe you had sent, you checked the box that said send data. And okay, here we go. Team accounts automatically share team templates. I find that very cool. The administrator creates a template for the entire team. The tube-like template, and everybody who's working on tube-like just creates their BOMs from that. Solves all those problems of consistency, using the right catalogs, consistency in the look and feel, and the property names, formulas, etc. So that I really find that really help with consistency. And finally, if you're using a template that already has a catalog assigned, don't assign one in the create BOM dialog. We discussed that as well. So. Okay, here's a few references. Like I said, I'll be sharing this deck with you. Excuse me. There's a few videos that I really like. There's one just on using templates in CAD. Dives a little more deeply into what we just covered. There's a couple things on OpenBOM basics. If you haven't visited our OpenBOM help page, it's been newly redesigned. It's a great place to start. I threw in another link there to something called working with roll-ups. If you're not familiar with that, it's often a thing that I kind of find might go hand in hand with templates. Roll-ups are, I'm creating multi-level bills of material, and I want to bring cost or mass or some other property up to the top level and kind of sum it up. That's how you do that. And then finally, there's a link there to our webinar playlists. All these this webinar as well as the other 21 prior are available to you on that link. So with that, I would like to really thank you all for attending. It has been a pleasure as always. Please join me next Wednesday. and we'll share out the webinar on our YouTube channel soon. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for joining me. I'm Steve Hess from OpenBOM. Thanks, everyone.